Alright, well, I'm going to work on the fuel thing now. I've got the skis, the scratchers all done, so I ran out to the barn. And this is what I've got for my rod. It's an aluminum rod. Now it's threaded, but I have to cut it to length anyways. I think it's aluminum. Either aluminum or stainless. Either is good. Plus, like I showed you before, is the aluminum angle, so it's going to sit something like that. I'm going to have to cut a piece, so there'll be two of them. I don't know if I'll have room to put anything else back here. That'll sit right at the seat. I guess I could make another little rack back there, because I'll have plenty to put like a little cooler or something. I'll have plenty of room, so I think this will work good. Now I was trying to think of how the channel would work, and I was looking at underneath these seat bolts. I don't know if you can see, you probably can't, but it's actually just it's going to be metric from the looks of the thread, but it's just a carriage bolt. So I've got some 1/4 carriage bolts, these guys, it's a round thread. It's not a very deep channel, so I wasn't sure how it would fit, but lo and behold, sorry about the shadow, look at that, perfect. Now I may have to shorten them up because they're going to stick up too high, but that's fine. So just a carriage bolt front and back on each of these, or side and side, and then some aluminum rod in between, and I can drill multiple holes so I could move those in and out. And Bob's your uncle, you got yourself a rack. And this chunk of aluminum cost me 20 bucks. It's overpriced in town, but still 20 bucks I can make 2 racks out of it, whereas a factory Polaris fuel thingy, which looks kind of chintzy if you ask me, is I think they're like 80 or something like that. So this will work out a lot better, and it's going to be a lot less money. Now the one thing I did notice as well is, because of this factory, I guess that's going to be a brace, tunnel brace, or maybe that's where it's connected, 2 pieces. I'm not sure why it's there, but it's going to cause problems. But that's nothing. A couple shims underneath there before dropping this on won't take care of. So I was thinking I could notch this out, but that's going to weaken it too much. So a few washers, drop this on, put a lock nut on top, and you're good to go. So I'll start cutting and see where I end up. I'll kind of show you the process as I assemble it. You don't need to see me cutting and drilling holes and stuff like that, because it's boring. So just hold tight and let's see what we can build. Okay, as you can see, I have my aluminum pieces cut and filed smooth. Now I'm going to pretty them up after. Once I get it all sorted out, I'll drill some holes and whatnot in here just to lighten it up. Not that it really needs to be lightened up, but it'll look better that way. And I'll maybe cut a little bit of an angle on each edge just to get rid of all those scary straight edges. But now what I need to do is figure out where to drill the holes, the 2 holes on each one, to accept the carriage bolts. Now what I'm going to do to figure that out is measure the distance between the T-slot, the lock and ride slot, and then find the center of these, divide this distance by 2, and mark out from there, and that'll give me where I need to put the holes. So because this is a slot, how you're wondering, well, you may be wondering, how do you figure out the actual center distance? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure from this edge to that edge, and that'll give me the width. Now it's probably metric, but no, it's well, if you can see, you won't be able to necessarily see on the tape measure, but it's 12 and what is it, 5/8. So there you go, 12 and 5/8. So you divide that by 2 and you get 6 and 5/16. So I need to find the center of this and then measure out 6 and 5/16. I got a little bit of wiggle room. I can make the hole where this comes through just a hair bigger, just to give it a bit of play, but yeah, I'll get her pretty darn close. So what did I say, 6 5/16, which is, oh sorry, I gotta get the center first, getting ahead of myself. So there's the center, 7.5. So now I'm gonna get my metal ruler. Don't know how well you can see this, but I'm gonna go 6 5/16. So that's right there, like so. Another 6 5/16 this direction. 3, 4, 5. Like so. I'm just going to double check that. Yeah. Now if I hold that up there, eyeball it, just to make sure it's good. It is good. So now we'll do the same on this one. Find center. Should be 7.5. Yep. Now 6 5/16 right there. Should have been doing this on the outside, so I could use my square to extend these lines. So let's do that. It's not to say I should have done it. Makes more sense. So 7.5. Right there. This will be a little trickier, but hold the ruler on the 5/16. Right there. Mark it. And mark it there. Up here, edge to edge, that looks good. Just got to extend that line down and do the same on this one. I'll get finished marking these up and I'll drill the holes and we'll see if they fit. Okay, the moment of truth. Got my holes marked, drilled. I used a step bit after a pilot hole, so I'm hoping they're accurate. We'll find out right away. If there's a tiny bit of, there's enough play in there that I think won't matter if it's a little bit off, but let's see if I did a good job or not. Yeah, you can see it's kind of pushing that bolt. I don't know if you can see in the video or not, but it's pushing the bolt out a little bit, so it's a little bit out. So I might open up the holes one notch, one size. And that one's good. Maybe even just a little bit of, tiny bit of work with a round file. Just to open them up just a little bit. So I'm going to do that. And try it again. It's pretty darn close considering. And there's pretty tight collars, so I'm happy. A tiny bit of with the round file and she'll be good. So next step will be to cut those rods. So I'm just going to get these kind of rough bolted in and then go from there. Okay, I got my spacers figured out. For now anyway. So you can see I've got two 5/16 washers. Now the reason I use two is because of the square portion of the carriage bolt. If I just put this nut down, which I drilled out, it's loose, right? So it wouldn't be able to tighten down. So because the holes are bigger on here, then you put this in, it's going to allow it to tighten down good. I didn't have to clearance these much, just a little bit. And there you go. And it gives a good little bit of space in between there. So now, gotta throw some lock nuts on there. Actually, I'll just use some regular nuts. And then I can figure out how long the rods need to be. Grab 4 more nuts. Now I'm a little concerned maybe, maybe not, that they might rust, but if I look at some of this other hardware on here, it's not stainless, so I think it's going to be okay. And I'm not going to use regular nuts for permanent installation. I'll use nylon nuts. And also, you're thinking, well, these are going to stick up and hit the jerry can, but I'm going to trim this back so there's just enough needed to grab. And then, as well, I'll show you briefly here. I mean, the jerry can is rounded on the edges, so hoping she'll clear. I don't think the jerry can's out wide anyway. And when I don't have a jerry can on here, I can carry something else. So let's get her kind of finger tight. So that's going to fit. See, it's not even, the nuts aren't even a concern at all. So that's good. Let's see if I don't want that. Now, the only thing that it's going to cause a problem, but I'm not that good yet anyway, is when you're moving, jumping from side to side. But whatever. So there you go. It's going to sit something like that. Heck, I wouldn't even need the bars on there, to be honest, but I'd be worried about the jerry can sliding off the side. So now I can get a rough estimate or measurement of how wide that needs to be to put the two rods in. I think it's gonna work out okay. So something's not quite right here. I measured it wrong, but like I say, you can see how it's offset here and here. Something I obviously made a mistake somewhere, but I'll trim it up, make it look good. I'm not worried about making it look good today. Trying to make it functional. So let's just get an idea. Get that kind of in there relatively snug, like so. Take the measurement on each side. Looks like 7 5/8 on that side. 7 3/4. So I'm just going to call it 7 3/4. So that's what I need to make. Cut these rods to. So I'll get these cut and see if I'm able to. They're hollow all the way through. See if I have a bolt that's going to be able to thread in there or not. I may have to get some fine pitch bolts tomorrow, but yeah, whatever, it's all right. And I'm also going to index it off of these things, so probably, let's see, is there enough room? Put the rod just on the inside of that bolt, there, and there. That'll be good. So let me get these cut and continue on. So I got one cut, and good and bad news. Bad news, or good news I guess, is it's stainless. Bad news is I don't really have it. It's going to take a huge bolt to go in there, and then a coarse thread is just going to cut too much deep threads in and cause it to become weak. But, so what I'm going to do, even though I don't have a TIG welder or anything, or I don't have quite the proper stuff to weld, even though it's stainless, I can still use mild steel to weld it. I've got these ARP bolts, which I think, what is that, 1/2 inch? I'm just going to take these heads, massage them just enough so I can stick them in there, and it'll give me a flange. And then I'm just going to try to nicely weld that on there, and then polish it up, and then instead of having bolts go this way, I'll have a stud sticking out, and I can put a nut on each side. So let's give that a go. So I've only got one of these cuts. I've got plenty of this, and I've got enough of these that I can have a screw up. So this will be my trial run. So let's give it a go and see how it turns out. Alright, I got one end done. Gotta get a little bit of slag off of there, but there's the result. It's not quite 100% straight, but I think it'll do the job okay. The weld will hold pretty good, I think, and I'll get these little bumps off, polish it up, and maybe give it a shot of clear just so it doesn't rust underneath. So I'm going to do the other one, and then it's going to be a little bit wider, but I'll make all of it and then have to drill some holes and mount it, and I think she'll be good to go. So I'm going to completely finish up and show you the final product. Well, got her done. I haven't prettied it up yet, but I'm a function over form guy, and I wanted to get it working before I clean it up, and it's going to work out good. Plenty solid. It clears the tunnel as well, or that little rib, and all lock nuts, and it's all secure. I haven't drilled any extra holes, but I can if I need to move this bar wherever it happens to land, because I could put a small jerry can maybe this way and put something beside it, put a second rod in, but it's gonna work out good. So the plan is just lay that in there. I've got some ratchet straps that don't have hooks. The one end's loose, so all you do is loop it through itself, so I can bring it around, up and over, around, and then hook it all together. It's hard to explain, but you'll see it in future, I'm sure. It holds it nice and secure, and there's no way that jerry can will come off, because you know what'll happen if you have a hook on there. The thing is going to come loose, so that's why I use carabiners instead of hooks. But yeah, she'll work pretty good. I could always slide it back if I needed to, but in case I'm jumping side to side, which I can't do yet because I don't have the skill, but sometime in the future I hope to be that way, able to do that. So only other accessory I think I'm going to need on this sled before heading off to the mountains is a bag. Goes under here to carry some stuff, and who knows, maybe I'll make another bracket goes back here, because I've got, I don't know where I threw it in my mess, but I've got enough for that. There it is. I've got enough length here yet that I could build one more of these, bolt it on back here, probably turn it around, bolt it on back here, and I could make another little cubby. But I don't know, maybe I'll get a handlebar extension bag or something along that line, but we'll see how she goes. But happy as it is, we'll try her out on Sunday. In any case, till next time, take care and talk to you later.